and welcome back to my channel. For anybody who doesn't already know me, my name is Kat. I have been traveling around the world a lot recently, but for the last 9 months I have been settled in Auckland, New Zealand, and today we're going to be talking about the cost of living here in New Zealand, and I'm going to give you a full, open, honest insight into everything that I spend, all of my monthly expenses, and at the end of the video I will discuss my earnings and income with you, but it's not that straightforward, so I'm going to save that till the end. Just so you know, all of the figures that I'm going to give you in this video are exact figures from my last month of spending, which was July 2023. And it's worth noting that I currently live in a small 1-bedroom flat in Auckland, about a 10-minute walk to the CBD, so very central. And I also split all of my rent and bills equally with my boyfriend. Right, I think that's all you need to know. Here we go. We're starting with the big dog, the rent. For most of us, rent is the largest amount of, like, the biggest sum of money that we spend in one go every single month. In New Zealand, it's actually billed weekly. So I'm gonna base this figure on a 4-week month. So my share of the monthly rent for this small 1-bed flat in Auckland City is 1,000, I'm so sorry, I'm a burpee. 1,040 New Zealand dollars per month, which to be honest is quite a reasonable rate. Also worth mentioning, we don't pay council tax here. That is a big difference to the UK. Moving on to car park. We do own a car here in New Zealand. We share it between the two of us. And unfortunately, convenient parking in Auckland City is pretty hard to come by. So we have actually been really lucky. In the last few months, we managed to find a space in our building for only $65 a week, which is incredibly cheap. Before that, when we first moved here, we were paying more like $80 a week for a car park space that was a 5-minute walk away, which is a real pain actually. Quite often, if you're renting an apartment in the center of the city, you are not going to have parking included with your apartment. So my share of the parking per month is $130. Next up is my phone bill. Hello! A lot of things in New Zealand are more expensive than in the UK, and I think that that's partly to do with the fact that the population is so much smaller here, and therefore there are a lot less companies that are selling things to you, and there is less competition amongst companies to keep the prices down. And phone contracts is one of those things where there's not that much competition, so it's a bit pricey. I personally pay $52 per month for a fairly basic SIM-only contract, which is a little bit painful, and it also doesn't include any international calls, and occasionally I call my granddad because he doesn't have internet, so I can't call him on WhatsApp or anything, and that does cost per minute. It's quite expensive. So yeah, $52 a month added to the total for my phone bill. Moving on to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is another cost that me and my boyfriend Ollie split completely equally. So my share of the Wi-Fi is $40 per month. I must say we don't pay for the cheapest. There were definitely cheaper options, but in order to get good speed, because we've both been working from home a lot, this was what we had to pay. Household bills. So in our flat we don't actually have any gas. Most accommodation in New Zealand doesn't have central heating, and so yeah, there's not a lot of gas used. So all we pay for bills wise is electricity and water, and these costs vary month on month depending on our usage, but how we manage it is every month we put $70 each for water and $70 each for electricity into our joint account. And usually 1 month the electricity will be up but the water's down, so it balances out, and then the other month it will be the other way around. So generally we spend about $140 each per month on water and electricity, and it doesn't really go over that. Okay, groceries. Now I'm very upset about this topic. This has got to be the hardest pill to swallow here. Food in the supermarkets is just horribly expensive. Again, I do think this is down to there being less competitions between brands so they can keep their prices higher, but also New Zealand is pretty far away from the rest of the world where they might import where they might import food products from. So there is that added cost on top as well. Despite this, I would say we don't actually have a very stringent budget on food, which is quite unlike me. I am queen of budgeting, but we were previously paying for HelloFresh, and so when we stopped doing that, because it was so salty, Kiwi people put so much salt in everything and we just couldn't deal with the amount of salt anymore, so we stopped HelloFresh. When we stopped HelloFresh, we based our new groceries budget on what we've been spending already, which is why it's a little bit higher. But it does mean we don't have to be too stringent on what we buy each week. We mostly buy what we want, but we do still have to watch what we're buying and make the most of deals, and sometimes we have to sacrifice some things because they are just not within budget. Like, I went to buy some peppers, okay? We usually get a few peppers each week because we use them a lot in the foods that we're cooking, and I went to pick up some red peppers, and no joke, they were $4.19 per pepper. That is over £2 for one pepper, and they weren't like extra big or anything, you know, just £2 for an average little bell pepper. What the heck? So anyway, I only bought one because I couldn't do that, but Ollie did want peppers, so he got one. So the number you've been waiting for, we budget around $480 a month each on our groceries. It does include things like alcohol. We always get free range chicken, which shoots the price up, and we also buy all of our toiletries and things in the supermarket, so shampoo, deodorant. Trying to justify it, I'm not sure that's justifiable. And just to caveat that, I did say like we buy basically whatever we want, but like if we want apples, we're gonna have apples, but we're gonna have the cheapest apples they have, you know? I also have been sacrificing the Biscoff spread because it's like $10, which is £5. It just feels a lot. $10 just feels like a lot for a jar of Biscoff. Alright, next up, we're hopping back to the car and talking about car insurance. We pay our car insurance monthly here. There aren't a lot of choices when it comes to insuring your car. There aren't many companies, so it's not very competitively priced. We are with AA and we pay $50 a month each for our car insurance, which I think is a pretty good deal, to be honest. We do only have a very small car. It's a little hybrid. It's not a very powerful engine. So that is probably why the cost is quite low. And adding in how much we spend on petrol, a full tank is probably about $80 at a more expensive pump. And we probably only top the car up once a month, sometimes maybe once every 3 weeks. So I'm going to call it $100 per month, and that would definitely cover us. Next up, gym membership. I found the cheapest gym in Auckland, and what a dream. I literally walk past it on my way to and from the office, and it costs 70 New Zealand dollars per month. That is all of my monthly payments covered. So those are the fixed things that I have to pay every single month, and the total is on the screen right now. But my friends, we have not finished. This is not everything I spend. Of course, there are other expenses in my life, other things I spend money on. So in July, which I must say was a slightly outlier month because we are soon to be leaving New Zealand, and therefore we're trying to make the most of it, trying to get to the places that we haven't been yet. So we did actually go on 2 weekends away, and one of those was a long weekend. So we did actually spend a little bit more last month than we normally do, but I'm going to talk you through it anyway, because if you're here in New Zealand to explore and travel, you might be doing that monthly anyway. So including 2 weekend trips away, plus going out for dinners, some exercise classes, a few takeaways, luxuries like clothes, makeup, and also buying lunch a couple of times for work when I've forgotten to prep. My total expenses for the month for all of those things come to $1,178. So that is everything that I spent in the month of July. And now I did promise you that I would talk a little bit about my income, but I did also say that it's a little bit complex, so bear with me. The reason it's a little bit complicated is because I don't just have one job and just earn one salary. I actually have 4 different income sources at the moment, so I'm going to talk you through them and let you know where I am with that. Firstly, I am employed by a New Zealand company in the city and I work as a receptionist for them. I earn $33 per hour and I work Monday to Friday from 12:30 till 6 every week. Secondly, I also have a very small business of my own where I work with clients to improve their social media. I have 2 clients. I charge £25 an hour and I'm currently working 6 hours a week. Thirdly, I also work for my boyfriend's company. I work for him 9 hours a week for a rate of £20 per hour. And then finally, I also have just started earning money from my YouTube videos. So thank you for watching this. Please give the video a thumbs up. Give me a comment down below if you are new here, say hi. I'm really grateful, I'm really excited to let you know that the grand total of my earnings on YouTube so far is a whopping 25 US dollars. So it's looking like for these next few months, I'll be earning around $30 a month through my YouTube on top of my other earnings. So it's probably not an average person's work week, but it's just what I've decided to do whilst I'm here. I'm making the most of a quiet life where I can focus on work and also build back up my savings, which I lost when I was traveling. So in total, my weekly earnings come to $1,640. So that's $6,562 a month, which is £3,156 a month before tax. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my whole financial life on display for you all to pick at. For anyone thinking of moving to New Zealand, I hope this has been helpful for you to try and get an idea of how much you might have to spend when you're here. Obviously for me, splitting everything with my boyfriend makes it a lot cheaper than it could do for a single person. If you are a single person, I would recommend looking into getting a flat share. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them below in the comments because I will always do my best to answer them as well as I can. Click the thumbs up if you are my friend, my mum, or someone who found something in this video really interesting. I will see you next week with another video and thank you very much for watching.